Where do you think the health trends or what are the things that your generation, your listeners probably 20 to 30, maybe even older, is that accurate? What?
Yeah,
Okay.
like 20 to 35-ish.
Where do you think the majority of the questions and the concerns lay for that age group,
PCOS.
which is polycystic ovarian syndrome? So ultimately can be anovulatory, people struggle with fertility.
Yeah. PCOS, infertility.
So hormones.
Yeah. It's women's health, I think, is a major, major topic. And I don't think women know what's going on with their bodies.
I have a number for you. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It wasn't until 1993 that women had to be included in clinical research.
Is that why this is becoming such a big issue?
Mhm.
It feels like an epidemic to me.
It is.
Just like seeing the questions coming from the audience,
is.
I'm like, what's going on?
If two out of three women are those that have Alzheimer's. So in the Alzheimer's population, Alzheimer's dementia, 2 out of 3 of those individuals are women. Only 12% of the funding from the NIH goes to women specific in Alzheimer's.
Wow.
And the trends continue. I mean, women will go to a doctor. I think women will go to the doctor, don't quote me on this number specifically, 5 times before they're diagnosed with PCOS.
Insane.
And part of it is there has not been a huge recognition of I don't know if it's the differentiation between genders or if, women are, my husband tells me we're complicated, but there's a number of reasons. And I do believe that that's one of the reasons why you've emerged as a generational voice, as a young woman, speaking to other young women and trying to get answers for questions that, quite frankly, the medical community isn't providing in the way that it can be understood.
I mean, I see it in my girlfriends. They don't know where to go get their hormones tested. They don't know how to check their fertility. They don't know what's going on with their own bodies. And I do think podcasting has opened the door to these experts that perhaps not everyone would have access to otherwise. You know, I was just in Arkansas, in Bentonville. And on my show, you know, a lot of the experts talk about obesity and metabolic issues. And truthfully, living in Austin or LA or New York, I don't really see those issues very much in my day-to-day life. But going somewhere like Arkansas, that's kind of a food desert, it made me so aware of these issues. And I'm thinking like, are these people listening to the podcast? Like they should be, you know?
Yeah.
And I just hope that people like that who are struggling and don't have access are able to tune into podcasts like yours or mine. And I love seeing our podcasts in the top charts because, like, if you look at them, it's a lot of men. And that's great. There's some amazing men on the charts. I'm not trying to bash men. But I think women's health is such a big issue.
Yeah.
And I don't think women know how to go about it. I feel fortunate that I've had the resources to figure out what's going on with my body. And I'm on this fertility journey. And I feel like I'm supported in that. But not everyone can do that. And it makes me really upset.
You're definitely providing a voice for that. PCOS, fertility, what else are they really struggling with?
I think endometriosis.
All women, hormone stuff. What about nutrition and training? Are people still confused about some of these things?
I think it's getting better, I hope. Like, I really do think weight, you know, thanks to you, people are getting really into weight training and protein.
Well, thanks to you, because you're executing, you're doing it. You're breaking, you know, you've spoken about how women are not going to get bulky. You've been training you started at 250 pounds. I mean, your story is extraordinary. You leveraged weight training to mitigate emotions and anxiety and to develop physical grittiness, hard things.
Weight training changed my life. It changed who I am. I think it was the thing, and it sounds a little cheesy, but it was the thing that taught me how to have a work ethic. Because prior to my fitness journey, it's tough to believe, but I was definitely someone who was okay with being average. I was an average student. I didn't go above and beyond with anything. And then once I hit rock bottom, it was kind of this moment of like, who are you? Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And weight training, you know, I think about the sets and the reps. To me, that's like practice for life. You know, if you can add an extra rep and do an extra set and finish the whole thing and do more than you expected to, if you carry that mindset into your business, into your job, whatever you're trying to do, you will inevitably be successful, in my head. And the way that I lost 250 pounds was just by showing up every day and keeping my own promises. And I don't think if I had experienced the progress I did with weight training, I wouldn't have had the confidence to then start my own business. So ultimately, weight training is the reason I'm here.
Pretty tremendous.
In my head.
Do you really believe that you were okay with being average?
No, I think that's like my perception of it, but I think the way I was raised and the environment that I had made me very insecure about everything. And I didn't believe I could be financially successful. I didn't believe I could be a hard worker. I feel like I absorbed information from people around me that perhaps I could not achieve what I wanted to do. I didn't even think about it because I didn't think it was an option.
Did you have an aha moment? Was there a moment that moved you from where you were? One moment, one saying, one thing, because this was a journey and it continues to be a journey.
Yeah.
So you had this journey of 9 months of weight loss, of getting fit, eating well. But typically when someone is starting out, I know that you've talked about how you didn't even look in the mirror. Did you have a moment where you said, you know what, enough is enough? Like, this is the moment.
It was like a culmination of everything. I'm 250 pounds. I dropped out of school. I was a semester away from graduating, dropped out, moved home with my dad. I was on all this medication, no job. It was a really, really low point for me.
Are you an only child? Do you have other?
I have a sister.
Okay.
Greg and I were not together. We had broken up. I had no friends. Like, really just the worst of the worst. And there's more detail to it, but it was really, really bad. And I think when I moved home and didn't have anyone to talk to, and I kind of looked around and I was like, oh my God, you are the reason you're in this position.
You figured that out though. At some point you were not being victimized. It was you.
When I was binge drinking and cutting and treating myself horribly, I was subconsciously blaming my childhood, blaming my situation, like looking for reasons that it was other people's fault other than my own. And it really took me like being knocked on my butt to be like, oh, this is all on me. And also that no one was going to get me out of it.
No one was coming to save you.
No.